So, got my mother's cookbook here. Got lots of old recipes. But what we're after is this one, which is the Christmas cake 1978.
68?
Sorry, yeah, 1968. That one, yeah.
That one.
So it looks really good.
Yep.
And it says it's going to take 2 hours to cook, so I think, should we go for it?
Yeah, definitely.
For me, one of the worst jobs of making a Christmas cake is lining the tins. So I get that out of the way first. Because it's one of the things you leap straight into mixing all your fruit and your eggs and everything together, and then think, oh, done all that, now I'm going to line the tins. And it takes ages, so I'm lining the tins. Two lined tins. I think it's time to make the cake, isn't it? So what we need is some ingredients. Because the recipe and some ingredients would be happy. Did we buy any? We're going to go with the classic creaming the sugar and the butter, adding the eggs and adding the flour method, and then we're going to incorporate, because there's so much of it and we haven't got huge bowls, we're going to have to do it across a couple of bowls.
Okay.
So we need to prep the fruit.
Are we going to do it by hand, or are we going to use the KitchenAid?
Might use the KitchenAid actually. So we might do the all-in-one then. Let's do the all-in-one method with the KitchenAid.
Okay.
So we need 800 grams of currants.
So why am I cooking with you, Dad?
Because you minded me until I didn't. That's why. So we've got 110 grams of this. Just smell that though.
Oh.
It's really citrusy, isn't it? That's nice.
I just don't like how chewy it is. I don't know what it is.
Well, they're sort of glazed, aren't they? So.
Yeah.
And then, talking of glazed, we need the cherries. Now you have to be very careful with cherries, because once you open them, they start to evaporate. They just start disappearing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, really, truthfully, we should wash the cherries, because if you're not careful, they sink because of they're quite moist. But we're not washing them.
Okay.
Never have, never will. 450. We actually went short on cherries, so that's why we're making it up on the others. So sadly there isn't one to try, because we've only got 200 instead of 400. So I'm sorry about that, but we'll just assume that they're nice.
But how will we know?
Well, we'll proof of the pudding.
But it could ruin the whole cake.
No.
Oh.
Would you go and get the sherry?
Oh yes. Where is it?
It's in the cupboard in your room, I think. Well, she's gone. She's a terrible cook. Absolutely awful. Don't eat anything she makes. That's why I'm doing this. In there. That's good. So everything in there.
Okay.
There's some plain flour in the cupboard. I'm just going to put the oven on. 150.
Cool. Are you using a fan or not?
No. Actually, I should use the fan. But I'm not.
Okay.
I go through phases. I like cooking, and then other times I just can't be bothered to cook. But I always enjoy it when I get round to doing it.
Mm.
I think I'm reasonably good.
Yeah.
Better than some. The rind and the juice from 2 lemons in. This adds a little zing, helps against the lot of sugar which is in the cake. And you know the tip that everybody gives you about juicing citrus fruits is to roll them on the board before you juice them, and you get more juice out of them. Don't ask me why.
Well, does it not loosen up all of the flesh inside?
It probably does, yeah. Probably does something like that.
Because I find that if you don't roll it first, then the inside bit here is all just really, really hard.
Yeah.
And so you can't get it over the juicer.
So it's like a light bruising, which usually softens fruit anyway. So yeah, so that should counter some of that sweetness which goes in.
Looking good over here.
Yeah.
The cherries and all the currants and things, mixed peel, nibs.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit here of
The lemon
lemon
zest, and there was a slurp of
yes, the sherry, most
the
important.
sherry, and now
then-
I'm just putting in the. Do my bit, do not your bit, my bit. The lemon juice going in there. So all that will go in.
So you can see quite how
It's
much.
lovely, it really is.
So you can see quite how much there is.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna struggle to really sort of stir it all.
Always struggle.
Always. So I have got in this one, I've got the flour and the sugar, and then this is the mixed spice, and I'm about to add the butter, which I've just sort of cubed up a little bit to make things a little bit easier when we're creaming it all. Or, well. Ooh. One.
What I do is half a dozen and another one. That's what I do.
Okay. Any tips for getting shell out of the
A teaspoon.
a teaspoon?
Yeah, and good luck and a lot of patience. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a clear down.
I've
Washing
got
up
something
and things.
really important to do. So
It's funny how that always, isn't it? It always happens like that. So we're going to have a clear down, a bit of a tidy up, and then we're going to mix the cake.
Okay.
Because we want to just ensure we've got enough room if we need to spread out.
this just smells. Oh god, it smells great.
It does smell. Just have a slice of that.
Yes, just a bowl of mixed fruit.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix this. So even though it's an all-in, what I'm going to do is drop that in and then add, when I start this, there's going to be a huge
Explosion of flour.
explosion of flour. So we'll throw a cloth over it. Just while I get started. And then,
It's like a magic trick now.
yeah. I'll just slowly add. Sorry. Sorry, camera one.
Camera one.
Now, something that wasn't in the mother's recipe that we're going to add is nitroglycerine. Sorry, I meant almond extract. Oh. I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah. So why do you add this?
Just gives it another kick of almonds. Don't want to waste any.
Well, I mean, you know, don't try too hard, because obviously one of the best parts of making cake is the licking off of the batter and mix and things.
Now, this is the tricky part.
Yeah, that has got to go in there with that.
And so, we introduce this. So what we're going to do, some of this in here.
Oops. You see, I think this bowl, you put too much in this bowl, Dad.
Okay. So shall I start and then you do a bit?
Yep.
Just be sure that it is fully mixed. I like to leave the cherries whole.
Ah, yeah, excellent. Good to know.
But yeah, there's something about, you often get half a cherry in a slice of cake, but sometimes, if you're lucky, it's like a little extra Christmas treat that you've got a whole cherry in your cake. Okay.
We don't have to put this in.
The house is full of the aroma of cooking cakes, so I need to check them. What we're going to get is a skewer. Let's have a look at how they're doing. And they're a long way off yet. So that's quite nice, but very, very wet.
Yeah.
And that one is even wetter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch them round. So that this one now has a little bit of time in the bottom of the oven. And this one has a bit of time in the top of the oven.
It smells so warm and like.
Oh, just makes you can't think of anything but Christmas, can you? Ooh. My mother always used to have a saying. She used to say, when they're brown, they're done. When they're black, they're but. What do you think?
Yeah. Looks good to me.
Okay. What about cake number 2? Oh,
All those little raisins of things of riz to the top.
yes. That's not a hammer. Oh, what do you think?
Cherry there. Yeah, looks good to me.
Yes, I've heard of fruit singing to the bottom but not rising to the top.
Sorry, anyway.
That's because they were raisins. And they've raised to the top. You know, raisin.
I get it. It's just not funny.
So they need to sort of sit in the tin for...
I want this slice here.
They need to sit in the tin for a little while to cool, and then we'll put them on a wire rack. I think mine's better than yours.
What? What?